Hi, my name is Rhiannon Hopcroft, and this is a short presentation on how to make your business eco-friendly and a few reasons why you should do this and how you can do it. So firstly, the why. So why should you make your business more sustainable and eco-friendly? Well, firstly, it's good for brand reputation. Since ecotourism has really been on the rise in the past few years, it can do wonders to your brand reputation. And more visitors are looking for a more sustainable way to travel. I do this myself, and lots of my peers do it. We're all looking for more eco-friendly ways to see the world. Another reason is that increasingly young people want to work for green companies, and 3/4 of workers in small to medium enterprises say that this is important to them, and that will help them choose what type of company they want to work for. It's how green and how eco-friendly they are. And finally, another reason, in Britain, 1/5 of greenhouse gas emissions come from businesses. And as we are actually in the midst of a climate crisis and that we have declared this as the Scottish Parliament, it is important more than ever to be as sustainable and eco-friendly as possible. Intimidating to know where to start, so I put together some simple suggestions. So a big one is providing recycling bins for employees and customers. So this is paper recycling, can recycling, and then just your general waste, so separating everything. Another is to just discourage the use of single-use plastics. So, for example, providing keep cups for employees so people aren't using disposable cups for their coffee every day. Another slightly bigger one is transitioning from paper towels to hand dryers. And a huge one is sourcing from local suppliers. And if you want to go the extra step, you can ensure materials are manufactured in a sustainable fashion, do not contain toxic materials, can be recycled, have no excessive packaging, and are designed to be repairable. And you can also reduce your water usage. So some simple fixes here are fixing a dripping tap, or a bigger thing to do is installing low flow toilets. And lastly, another one about recycling is to recycle your electronics. So a huge thing that you can do is become what's called a B Corp. These are companies that balance purpose and profit, and they are certified companies. An example of a B Corp is Patagonia, and they kind of test based on the Sustainable Development Goals. So everything is in relation to those. So the quote from the website is that the B impact assessment is rigorous. It evaluates how your company's operations and business model impact your workers, community, environment, and customers. And it's certified every 2 years. It's a great way to have a certificate to say how eco-friendly and sustainable you are. So I spoke briefly there about the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs as they're known, and these are a set of goals that were put together by the United Nations and were signed by the countries in the United Nations. And we aim to see the goals that you can see by 2030. And obviously, in order to do this, we as individuals must also take action. So, as businesses, we take actions. And this will help us to achieve goals 9, 11, 12, 13, but also 17, which is partnership for all the goals. So some of the goals here are sustainable cities and communities. There's obviously industry, innovation and infrastructure, life on land, which is number 15, climate action, number 13. So these are really good goals that we can achieve. There's also kind of ways that you can help achieve these goals, such as goal number 2 that you wouldn't necessarily think of. So zero hunger is goal number 2, and to help do this, you could donate excess stock to food banks, for example. So climate action is goal number 13, and in our community I think we see what's called over tourism, and this is oversaturated tourism, and this is defined as the phenomenon of a popular destination or site becoming overrun with tourists in an unsustainable way. I personally see this as an issue. I think we see more tourists than we can necessarily handle. I have another blog post about this if you want to read about that. But I've also put together some things that we can do this and some examples of places where it's worked in the past. So one example is time slots. So time slots have been put in place in places like Machu Picchu in Peru, so you can only visit on the time that you have booked and hike on the time that you have booked, and you have to book well in advance. This is quite an extreme example, but this can be put in place even in museums, so people have to book a slot, and this could avoid car parks overflowing, and it means people make the journey with purpose. They know where they're going, and they're not just driving around, realising there's no space and driving away again. And you can also put together a set of guidelines, so this could work well for tour companies or cruise companies. So in Colombia, there's a river system called the Canos Cristales, and it has a very fragile ecosystem. And they have their guidelines include you can't wear certain types of sun cream, a zero waste policy. So I think we could definitely do that here, especially having a leave no trace policy could work really well. Public transport is another big one. Although we also know public transport here isn't the best, we should still encourage visitors to use this. And as there are buses in the mornings, the evenings, people can organise their day around it. So those are some of the things that I think we can do to make our businesses more sustainable and eco-friendly. I think we really need to be putting our planet before profit at this time. So I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you read some more of my blog post. Thank you. Bye.